go. Hello, everybody. We are back with another episode of Expert Burnout Tips with me, your host, Cait Donovan, also host of Fried, the Burnout Podcast, as you can see on this little guy right here. Today, I have the benefit of talking to Michelle Holmes, who is a transformational coach and consultant focused on eliminating burnout, anxiety, and limiting beliefs for high-performing individuals and teams who want to create an impact and flourish in their work without self-sacrifice. She is a podcast host of the Flourish Podcast of January 2023. Yay for a podcast launch. And her workshops have been attended globally. She brings a trauma-informed lens to the table and guides her clients to tune into the messages their nervous system has for them. That might be a little inkling of a clue of what we have coming today. Michelle, welcome to the show.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Yes, so fun. So your number one top tip for burnout, who is it for and what does it do?
Yes. Okay, great. So my tip is for high achievers, high performers who want to create an impact. I love working with people and hearing more about that because they can get burned out and push themselves way too far. So that's who it's for. Do you want me to give my tip?
I do.
Awesome. Okay, so my tip here is to really focus on cultivating the self-awareness, the internal, identifying our state of our nervous system, so our stress response state, because a lot of people approach mental health with this environmental outside perspective of let me just focus on changing everything about my life to support me. That has its place. It's like a two-part thing, but there is so much that we can do for ourselves, and it starts with having that self-awareness, so the ability to self-regulate, because the people that are the high achievers and the high performers, they're doing a lot. Many times they are unable to change something in their life. We're talking about the people who are caring for aging parents, people who have kids, people who have a job that does have some stress involved. I mean, in the medical field, even it's a fast pace. We can't always change what we're going through. All of us are going to have these experiences that are not ideal for us to feel really great naturally. You know, we can't create a box around ourselves all the time, like this bubble. So having the relationship with ourselves of how am I feeling? What do I need right now? What's a trigger for me? And what makes me feel better? Because no one has the power over us to determine our mental health. That's fully on us.
So this seems like a lifelong tip.
Absolutely.
What's the implementable short tip? So my goal for this show is to give people something that they can start to do right now. And if it works for them, they can continue and sort of work through it. And of course, burnout is typically a very long process to come out of. So we're not expecting healing tomorrow, but what's the starting point? Because this is a really big topic. This is really broad.
Yes, I'm so glad you asked. So the starting point is identifying in your body where you are holding tension. Because if we are, and you can do that, like a very actionable process for you right now is what we call the wet noodle. And so you start from the top of your head and you go all the way down to the tips of your toes and you relax each muscle in your body. So you're becoming like wet spaghetti that has been boiled already. You're a wet noodle. And when we have tension and muscle tension and stress in there, we're feeling stressed. I mean, that's a big indication that our nervous system is activated, that we're perceiving threat, because we're launching into the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response of our nervous system. So becoming aware of that, doing things like the next time you're in a confrontation or you're in a traffic jam or you're feeling discomfort, find out where and then actually go and relax those muscles, because when you get back into that relaxed state, you are coming out of the stress response. We cannot have the stress response and have relaxed muscles. That's just part of our physiology.
That's not exactly true. I think that it's important to differentiate here the difference between holding ourselves up, right?
What do you
So,
mean?
like literally physically standing, your muscles will be contracting and expanding in relationship to one another in order for you to like for us sitting here right now, I cannot relax every single one of my muscles because I would fall over. Right?
If you're in a chair and you are supported, you have your structure of your bones that are going to hold you up along with the chair. So yeah, don't there's different self-regulation exercises for different environments that you're in. If you're sitting in a chair, you absolutely can focus on relaxing all of your muscles. I mean, we're not talking about become curious of what's happening in your own body.
Okay.
I mean, you can go on if you want to go on.
I think that's a good place to be, and I think that this is important. I also think it's important to recognize that relaxation does not mean a mental relaxation does not mean that your body is completely soft. Like there's just because there's something in your body working doesn't mean that you are stressed. Those ideas are a little bit separate from one another.
Yeah.
So, and there's an inherent sort of tension and a good tension that's required for us to be alive. So I don't want people to feel like if they can't, people that are not in touch with their bodies and that tend to be burnt out sometimes have a hard time feeling into things like this. So if you're finding a place that you can't let go, maybe leave it for a moment and release something that you do have control over, because there might be some things behind it that are either physiological and or like you were saying, some sort of trauma that maybe relaxing that thing is not a safe or a smart thing to do at the moment. But this initial plan of knowing, getting to this starting point of identifying in your body where you're holding tension is critical, right? Because we need to get to know ourselves on a level that makes sense to us. All right. So you also have a book called the Flourish Planner. What's the Flourish Planner?
Yes, I do have it back here actually. So it's a 90-day wellness planner, and it's I designed it for myself years ago because of course I've been burnt out and have recovered and all of that. So it is a wellness planner for people who want to embark on this path, and it's kind of taking away some of the overwhelm, because for a lot of people, they just try to do too much too soon, and they're like trying all these things. They're taking supplements, they're trying to eat right, they're adding just all these different things. And so it's like, okay, let's take a moment, let's have the check-in with ourselves. Let's track some of these metrics so we can look and at the end of the day have that check-in as well. So it's a beautiful planner. It's all of my prints up here.
Wow, those are gorgeous
prints that I've designed. So it's very I'm not sure the men would love it because it's very colorful and you know there's patterns and everything. Not that men don't
deserve color too.
They do, they really do. But yeah, it's really nice for us to just have a place where it's like, okay, our new plan lives in here and we can refer back to it. And we also there's a box in there that says, where are you holding do you feel any discomfort in your body? Because that's a conversation that probably needs to continue a little bit more to have some nuance there, because there is nuance.
Of course.
And, nuance.
I always like to bring up nuance. It's a habit of mine, just so that people don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, starting with identifying in your body where you're holding tension is so critical. It's so critical.
Right.
And everybody out there, we know that there's more nuance to that, and we're trying to get in 10 minutes. So here we are.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good starting place. And so that's why it's included in the planner, even of, okay, how can we? Because we're not going to be pros at this. Like, everyone, in the beginning of my journey to recovering from burnout, everyone was like, well, what's your gut telling you? What's your gut feeling?
You're like, I don't know.
You don't have that. A lot of the people that I work with they have this disconnect from their body. So having the self-awareness, that is the actionable starting point. That's where we start. We don't have to know all the answers. We don't have to go into all of the nuance. We don't have to debate about all the different, examples of how this could not work for someone and what people bring to the table. It's like, okay, let's just focus on.
Let's just start at the simple place.
The simple place. Yeah, you got to take a baby step. That's the first thing.
I love it. All right, everybody. Should you want to find more about Michelle's work, you can go to the Flourish Podcast. You can grab yourself a Flourish planner, or you can connect with Michelle on LinkedIn. And here is her link right in the video below us. Thanks for being with us today, and we will see you next time. Bye.